Hey, have you ever wanted to be a troll?
How about kidnap a princess?
How about steal a church bell?
What about stealing a baby?
Or building a cave network? Well, if your answer to any of those or all of those is yes, Trolls and Princesses might be the game for you. Hey, welcome to Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anna.
Together we're Ryanna.
And today we're sharing our first impressions on Trolls and Princesses by Game Brewer. Trolls and Princesses is a worker placement game where you are acting as trolls and moving along the different player boards and the villages.
Each player is going to take on the role of their own troll clan, and as we described before, you'll be doing fun, mischievous things like building up your cave, or going out into the villages and stealing church bells, and stealing babies, and stealing princesses. These trolls are, they're pretty horrifying guys.
Swapping them for changelings, running through the villages rampant.
Yeah, so pretty fun stuff. Let's dig into it. So each player is going to have their own player board, and there's different sections where you can send your workers. So you have a building section. This is how you send outposts out into the villages so you can get more action points there. You can buy cave tiles, and that excavates your cave to where you can have more opportunities to excavate resources and things like that. There's the mining section, and that's how you mine those resources so that you can use those to do more powerful moves. And then you also have your troll power section. This is how you are going to refill your precious minerals in your cave. This is how you're going to increase your troll power. This is how you're going to buy troll cards, which give you additional powers, which can be very, very helpful. There's also a section on the bottom where you can steal cows and store your cows,
because cows are used as another resource in exchange for other items. In addition to your player board, you can purchase or gain cave tiles. These cave tiles have additional resource management places. They also have big cushy beds for those princesses that you just kidnapped to gain extra points. And then moving on from the cave tiles, we also have king tiles. These are obtained when you have completed some of the higher goals in the game, but then they give you an extra boon for endgame scoring. In addition to your own player board, in the center, out where everybody else can play, is where the villages are. And as Ryan mentioned earlier, that's where all the mayhem and the chaos is happening.
So Game Brewer calls this a worker movement game. And the reason why they do this is because you will have your pool of workers, your trolls. You'll place them out into the board in your cave. You'll also place them out into the village if you're wanting to do some mischief out there. And then once you have placed them all, you're not going to be taking them back into a supply or anything like that. All of your workers will stay on the board. So if you have placed workers in a particular area and then you place another worker there, you already have action points that you can use to do powerful things in there. However, if you need to do more powerful things elsewhere, you're going to move workers from that section to a completely different section or out into the village to have more of a presence there. The other cool thing is if there is a section that is completely full, a lot of other worker placement games would tell you that you can't place your workers there. Not in Trolls and Princesses. You can use your troll to bump someone else's troll back to their cave, and then you have that section. Of course, the other players can do that to you as well. It was a pretty cool mechanic, and that's why they want to differentiate between saying a worker placement and worker movement, and it makes sense to us. In addition to all of the other things that we've talked about, there's the Troll King, who's going to be moving from player to player, from cave to cave, and he's going to provide additional actions. And he's going to kind of move according to his own volition. He doesn't do things the way that you want him to do them all the time, but still super powerful and super helpful on your turn.
Absolutely. The game progresses. Each person has their own hand, and based on the player count is how many rounds there will be in the game.
Once all cards have been played, and all players have done that, then you get to the end game scoring, and you're going to score based on how many princesses you've stolen, how many church bells you've stolen, how many changelings you've swapped for babies, and You want to diversify the things that you've done, because if you don't diversify, you're not going to get nearly as many points.
Yeah. I don't diversify. Didn't go well.
She's speaking from personal experience. So, pretty cool game. We had a good time with it. We had a lot of fun with it on the table. What were some of the things that you liked specifically?
I really like the worker movement, where if an area that I really want to go to is blocked, I can just bump them out of the way. That's one of my biggest frustrations with other worker movement games, where it's, oh, I can't get anything done because people are in my way. I just want people to get out of the way. It's ridiculous.
I had a lot of fun with the aesthetic and the style of the game. This is based on, I believe it's Swedish fairy tales, or rather Swedish folklore of how trolls operate and the mischief that they'll cause in the villages and stuff. So I enjoyed the objectives that you're trying to accomplish. Stealing princess. I mean, the group that we played with, all of us were so excited to steal a princess and put her in the cave and swap the babies and steal the church bells and excavate these minerals, and a lot of these all of these pieces feel good. It's a lot of fun to do all of these things.
Absolutely. The art is a lot of fun. At first glance, it looks like a lot, but it's all pretty intuitive, and I really appreciated that. The board adjusts based to your player count, and that's an awesome feature. I felt like it's just very well done.
I also like how you can combo. A lot of these a lot of these types of games, you want to put in synergies that can allow you to do more and more and more each turn, and this has been a good time being able to do that. Terms are pretty simple. You play a card, you play a worker and resolve the actions in that area. You play another worker and resolve the actions in that area. You draw a card. However, even with that simplicity, you can end up, especially near the end of the game, you can be doing a lot of things with just a single worker placement if you have formed synergies that allow you to do a lot. So, we've talked about what we liked. Were there any things that you weren't as big of a fan of?
It's more my own player problems of not diversifying and learning from my mistakes in previous games.
One of the things that I wasn't as big of a fan of is, so when you play these cards, they have a 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that you can place them in specific villages. That increases supply in those areas and everything, but if you have a hand where I have 3 1s and I put all of my stuff into 2, obviously I should have diversified, but I was trying to do something powerful in 2. So it can kind of feel like your turns come to a screeching halt if you don't have the right cards. You can still do stuff, but so it's kind of nice that they gave you the freedom to work within the confines of if you only had a specific amount of things in a certain village. But that's one of the areas where your comboing and your plans can kind of come to a halt if you are not able to get the cards that allow you to play the things in the area where you need to play them.
The real question is, will it make it back to our table?
I think it will. We had a lot of fun with this. It was a good time.
Absolutely. I think I've learned my lesson. I want to diversify a little bit more and not lose by over 20 points.
Yeah, but you did fine. You learned as the game was going. So we had a good time with this. Our group had a good time with this. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of opportunities to learn about new combos and all of that fun stuff. So We would recommend it.
Yeah. Are you interested in being the trolliest of trolls?
If you are, Trolls and Princesses. That's the way to go. So, thanks for joining us for this review. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anna.
And we'll see you in the next Tantrum House video. Trolls and Princesses. Stealing Princess. We good?
Yep.
Recording?
Yep.
Cool. Now, or wait, no, sorry.
Today we are talking about Trolls and Princesses.
Well, let's do that again. Golly, all right, we're crushing it. Here we go.
And I'm Anna.
And actually, how do you outro?
That would be fine.
Oh, okay.
See you guys in the next one or something like that.
Okay, cool.